she thought. After 8 miserable months on the street, they bring you back for another chance. And it's Lynley. I will not do it, she muttered. I will not work with that sodding little fop. She bent to bathe her hot face and scrub away the tears. I'd like to give you another opportunity in the CID. Those had been Webberley's exact words, she remembered. He'd been fingering a letter opener on his desk, but she'd noticed the photographs of the Rippers' 13 murder victims on the walls, and her heart had soared. To be on the Ripper case. It's a peculiar case involving a girl up in Yorkshire. Oh, so it's not the Ripper. A girl, you say? Well, of course I can help. In fact, I'm expecting to receive the information in about an hour. They're sending the priest who found the body. I'll need you here, then. If you're interested, that is. If I'm interested? I'll need you to pop round to Chelsea before then, I'm afraid. You'll be working with Inspector Lynley. And, unfortunately, we've got to pull him out of the St. James wedding. The wedding was at 11, so no doubt they're well into the reception by now. Something wrong, Sergeant? Inspector Lynley? She saw it all at once. The reason they needed her. The reason no one else would really do. They wanted Lynley on the case, but they needed a woman as well. And Lynley had the reputation of a racehorse put out to stud. He'd slept his way through department and division alike. And she, Barbara Havers, was the one woman whose virtue would be secured in almighty Lynley's presence. No wandering hands with Barb in the car. No confidential dinners to go over notes. Superintendent Webberley spoke again. There's a lot you might learn from working with Lynley. Is there a problem? Barbara had liked Simon Orcourt St. James from the first time she'd met him 10 years earlier, when she was a nervous 20-year-old probationary police constable, all too aware of being a woman in a man's world. To the men, a woman who aspired to the CID was a freak, and made to feel that way too. But to St. James, 2 years her senior, she had been a colleague, even a friend. St. James was an independent forensic scientist now, but he'd begun his career at the Yard. By his 24th birthday, he was the very best of the scene of crime men. He could have gone in any direction, investigations, pathology, administration, anywhere. But it all ended 8 years ago in Surrey, on a wild drive with Lynley. They'd both been drunk. St. James was always prompt to admit this. But Lynley had been driving, and Lynley had walked away without a scratch, while his childhood friend, St. James, had emerged a cripple. Barbara pulled her Minnie into a space on Lawrence Street and walked back towards Cheney Row. St. James's house stood on a corner, and as she passed by the high brick wall that fenced in the garden, she heard the sounds of the party in progress, the popping of champagne, the music of violin and flute, the conversations. As she mounted the steps and looked in at the open door, she thought for a moment of retreating to her car for an old mackintosh that would at least cover up her uniform. But then she caught sight of a familiar-looking woman in teal-coloured silk, drew in a breath, and entered. From the dozens of times this woman had been to fetch Lynley from the Yard, Barbara recognised her as Lynley's close friend, Lady Helen Clyde. "I've the most dreadful feeling that you've come for Tommy," Lady Helen said immediately, extending her hand. So confident, so completely self-possessed. "He is wanted at the Yard," Barbara confessed, after introducing herself. "Poor man. How miserable, how damnably unfair." She shot Barbara an apologetic smile. "But it's not your fault, is it? Shall I search Tommy out for you?" Barbara watched from the safety of shadows as Lady Helen located Lynley and escorted him back to her. His movements were graceful, fluid. He was the handsomest man she'd ever seen, and a miraculous combination of everything she despised. A public school voice, a first in history at Oxford, and a family tree with roots just this side of the Battle of Hastings. "Sergeant Havers," he said when he reached her. "Webberley sent me, sir. It's business in the north. There's a meeting in 20 minutes, I'm afraid." The moment, she decided, was probably as good as any to give him the news. "I'm off the street," she announced bluntly. "That's why I've come, if you're wondering." Back in the CID.